We are just over 24 hours away from the first round of this year's NFL draft, where 32 young men's lives will change forever. Now, you have the opportunity to change one person's life at a time over 40 different ways, and that's by going to KentuckyCobbler.com and choosing your flavor. You know what? Actually, your flavors, because you're not going to be able to go there and just choose one and be done with it. You have over 40 flavors to choose from of different types of cobbler in literally the perfect size bottle. So, get your order. You know what? While you're watching the NFL draft tomorrow, you need to be drafting different kinds of cobblers to give to you and your family. So make sure you get on that, and I'm going to get on this episode of NFL Questions from Subs. First question came from Mr. X, and he said, do the Ravens overvalue the draft? I've always wondered and compared within myself the two signing approaches, aka the Ravens approach and the Rams approach. The draft, as exciting as it is kind of like rolling the dice with a Pro Bowler, a contributor, a Hall of Famer, and a bust all in place. You can get any one of those. If you look at old drafts, the number of Pro Bowlers often range from 5 to 30, considering all 7 rounds. While we could still get a quality starter, wouldn't it be better to trade for a sure thing rather than bargain for a stud who could keep up not being one? Love your videos. Keep up the great work. Hashtag Ravens flock. The question was, do the Ravens overvalue the draft? I think sometimes they can overvalue draft picks, and a lot of times that can end up being quantity over quality. Now, I know their big saying is the more shot attempts you take, the more chances you have to score, the more chances you have to hit on somebody that really ends up being a difference maker in the NFL, and they really end up doing their thing. But I would much rather them, like a scenario that when I was on my guy Kevin Ostriker, his podcast Locked On Ravens, we were talking about it where somebody asked him, would you rather the Ravens stay with their 10 picks, or would you rather them trade up and just have 6 picks and 6 high quality picks, like 6 picks in like the first 3 rounds? And I would take that all day. Because 1, they have a higher chance of making the roster. 2, the investment from the Ravens is going to be there a lot more. And then 3, they'll have a much higher chance of being high impact, high quality guys that can be difference makers on this team. So I would love if the Ravens take that approach. And I think that I'm hoping that they will this draft. And I think that they will, because I just don't see any scenario where they use all 10 picks. I just don't see that happening. We've heard the rumor that they've called up about trading up, so we'll see if that comes to fruition. But I just think there's no way that they're going to end up using all 10 picks. I don't see it. He also asks, this is a weird draft. The good thing is that our weaknesses are the strength of this draft. Cornerback, defensive end, defensive tackle, offensive line, and we're picking early, which is great. But the issue is that our strengths are the weaknesses of this draft. QB, tight end, running back, which means players in our need list are taken first. These mock drafts confuse me. Some have Kyle Hamilton at 13. Others have him at 3. I recently saw a Berserk mock draft, which had Hutchinson going 7th and Ekwonu coming to the Ravens at 14. Like, come on. Hey, it's draft time, so you never know. You really never know. This thing could literally go any which way. He said, I saw a video in which you chose Jordan Davis for the Ravens among 4 players who could practically be available at 14. He said, let's make it interesting. This is the draft. Weird things happen. Question. The best players who could be available are KT, Hamilton, Stingley, Jordan Davis, and Jameson Williams. Okay. Whom would you play for the best to be available at 14? And he said, here's some help. You could do a mock draft of your own, first and second round only, maybe even first. We really need a reasonable mock with reasonable picks for once. I trust you, bro. Sorry, it's a little too late for me to do that now. But who would I take out of those guys? Oh, man. Jameson Williams sitting there would be very tempting for me, because y'all know how I feel about the wide receivers, man. I just want somebody that's going to help take us over the top, man. So that would, like, Stingley, that'd be tempting. That Liz Frank injury. I mean, we got Hollywood recovered now. We got Hollywood in the building, so his Liz Frank is good now. Hamilton, possible generational talent at safety, and then Thibodeau, a possible generational talent as a pass rusher, and he could really help a lot. Then still got Jordan Davis there too. That's tough. Any, mini, miny, mo. Probably. For me, out of these would probably be between Thibodeau and Williams. And then after that, Stingley and Jordan Davis, and then Hamilton. And it's like, man, this is such a hard question because I literally would not be mad at any of these picks going to the Ravens. I wouldn't be mad at any one of them at all, but to have to choose out of those, that's a lot of pressure. Next question came from Lynetta. She said, hey, Ingraven, how are you and the family doing? We're doing really good. I hope you're doing even better. Should I have a few questions? To follow up on the last email I sent about our boy Miles Boykin, I'm happy to see that he gets to go to a team that will use him, but not just Miles. I would really like to see everyone get a chance to show what they have to do. Like Tyson Williams, Justice Hill, Josh Oliver, and Jalen Ferguson, just to name a few. I would like to see them more next season if they are there. Now, see, that's very tricky because of depth, because of the starters, and just because of opportunity. Like with somebody like Tyson Williams, I thought last year was going to be his opportunity to where he really got to show his stuff a lot, especially since everybody got hurt. But they gave him a couple chances, then they were like, you know what, you're done. So that was unfortunate. Somebody like Justice Hill, if everybody's healthy, he's not going to get many opportunities, maybe late in games if there's blowout games, which we do hope for. But that's where he would really get his real opportunity. And then on special teams, too. So he wouldn't really, because we have a J.K. Dobbins, a Gus Edwards, Justice Hill's not really going to get that much opportunity. As far as Josh Oliver, same thing. He got two guys in front of him. Obviously, Mark Andrews is the guy for the Ravens at tight end. And Nick Boyle, he's out on the field a lot, too, as a blocker and as a pass catcher a little bit here and there, too. So Josh Oliver, he wouldn't really see the field like that. Just like last year, he didn't really see the field like that. And I think that that contributed to him just really not being able to really get into a rhythm. But again, it's a good problem to have at the tight end position, especially if you got a Mark Andrews as your guy. And then Jalen Ferguson. Ooh, that's a really tricky one, man. I'm hoping that with Jalen Ferguson, if he's still on the team this year, that the scheme change will be everything for him. And he can really be that defensive end, sort of get a little better at setting the edge and just get more consistent, man. So I hope the best for Jalen Ferguson, especially if he's going to remain with the Ravens. So we'll see. She said, why the Ravens have any money to spend on multiple players? Why don't they or do they? I think you meant why don't they? Ravens are very close to the cap. They're always around it, of course. They could maneuver and manipulate this thing if they really wanted to, but that's not really the route that they like to take. So with that being said, they're very close. So if they really want somebody, they can make it happen. But it's about if that person really wants the Ravens too. It's got to go both ways. But there has to really be significant interest, and I'm sure they're going to do some more things to clear up some more space, whether that's giving Marcus Peters an extension. That's one that we kind of been waiting for, but hasn't happened yet. And maybe the Ravens are like one of those people who they like, we know what we can do as far as the Marcus Peters thing, but let's try to maximize everything this way first before we even touch Marcus Peters' deal. So, and then I still think, depending on when they draft the cornerback, we're going to see, man. But I'm just wondering why this Marcus Peters thing hasn't happened yet. But maybe they're just trying to exhaust all other options before they get to giving him an extension. So she also said, do you think that Greg Roman will make it through the whole season this season? I'm wondering. What do you think? And thanks for all that you do, and I appreciate you. Hey, I appreciate you, Lynetta. Now, as far as Greg Roman, is he going to make it through this whole season? Man, if he does, that could be a good thing because that would mean Ravens offense was doing a good job, or it could mean they just getting by. But if he doesn't, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing because that could mean that the Ravens like really decided to hold him accountable. My biggest thing is I want whatever happens this year, no excuses. I want no excuses to be given to anybody, none. No excuses. Provide everybody with what they need. Give them what they can do to possibly be the best at their job, whatever their job may be, and let the chips fall where they will. So I'm hoping with Greg Roman, hey, if he's given everything that he needs to succeed and he doesn't succeed with this offense, and again, everything's not on him. The players, they still got to play the game. He can call the best players in the world, but if the players don't execute the right way, then it could fail. But I just really hope it doesn't fail, obviously. Hopefully that vault is unlocked, but just want to see everybody do good, man. Straight up. That's what we want every year, especially on offense, especially with just what we have on offense and the potential of what we could possibly add after the draft on offense. We just want to see everybody do well. But if I had to just answer the question, do I think Greg Roman's going to make it through the whole year? No.
Yeah, this feels like a dream, and you know just what I mean. You see my boy, he like gotta made it. Boy, he's a fan and he like the Ravens, and you know just what I mean. You two team, keep it clean. You see my boy, he like gotta made it. Boy, that's my homie, ain't that right engraving.
So team, keep it clean. Welcome to another episode of Questions from Subs. We can ask any NFL question you want and we answer in the video just like this. Now, if you want to be part of it, you can send me an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com, or for the patrons, y'all can send it directly on Patreon. If you want to join the Team Keep It Clean patrons, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. And if you don't want to, that's fine as well. I love y'all. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to just the support and the love that y'all been showing. We appreciate it. Thank y'all for making this fun. Thank y'all for keeping us crazy busy, especially leading up to the draft. It has just been wild. But now we basically here. The draft is tomorrow night. Well, at least when I'm recording this, it's tomorrow night. And yeah, a lot of our questions will finally get answered, which we have been waiting on for so long. Ain't no more mock drafts no more. You can throw all the mock drafts away. So it'll be time for the real thing. So let's get into these last questions before the draft tomorrow. Let's run it, man. Speaking of mock drafts, the next question came from my guy, Stone. He said, hey, what's up, Ingraven? Hope the family is doing great and enjoying the off season. This is my final and favorite mock draft I've done so far. Getting the edge rusher and wide receiver in the first 2 rounds and addressing all the other needs throughout the later rounds. Let me know how you feel about this one. So let me see. Oh, so he went up to overall pick 7. So he traded with the Giants pick 14 and a 3rd round and a 4th round pick to move all the way up to 7. No problem with that at all. He got Kayvon Thibodeau. Okay, cool, nice. Next, he traded with the Jets. He received the Jets, the pick overall 35. So what's that? 33, 34, 35, the 3rd overall pick in the 2nd round. He received that and a 3rd round pick as well. And he gave the Ravens 2nd round pick, their 6th round pick from this year, and a 2nd round pick from next year. And he took George Pickens. Y'all know I'm on board with that. So the draft is done for me. I'm done. I ain't gonna do nothing else. But anyway, he also got in round 3, Brian Asamoah, a linebacker. In round 3, he doubled down at wide receiver and he took Romeo Dubes. I don't know anything about him, but hey, I trust you because you got them first 2 right. In round 3, he also got a tackle, Kellen Dyche. Round 4, he got a defensive lineman, Matthew Butler. In round 4, he also got a cornerback. Oh, Kobe Bryant. I've been hearing a lot about him. Round 4, he also got a tight end, Chig from Maryland. Been hearing a lot about him too. And then round 4, he also got another cornerback, Josh Joby. So he doubled down. And then, in round 7, he got another cornerback, Joshua Williams. So yeah, you put in a lot of work for this one, and you definitely address cornerback a lot. All in Rams approach, but in the draft. Next question came from my boy Stephen K. He said, without ripping my head off, can I ask something? With a lot of holes to fill, I wanted to see what would happen if you traded all of our future picks for picks in this year's draft. An all in Rams approach, but within the draft. Wow. You said all of our future picks for picks in this year's draft. That's a lot of rookies. That's a whole lot of rookies. You really think that many rookies, they gonna be able to come in and really take this team over? Let's hear it out. He said without ripping his head off, though. You ain't ripping nobody's head off. Anyway, he said, I know these aren't proven players. Okay, see, I should have just kept reading because I know these aren't proven players, but I just feel like this mock gave so much quality over quantity. Probably 10 starters. It's a gamble whether you draft them this year or the next. And next year, you could keep trading future picks, like 2025 picks, to get them for next year's draft. Now, rinse and repeat. I know this is unrealistic, but look at the haul. I honestly feel if we had our team and these players, no way we wouldn't destroy everyone. And again, if we got all these players, we fill in the holes, which we all know can't be filled in one draft. We get linemen, a weapon, vintage Ravens defense, Lamar is happy. This is how my draft went. 16th pick overall, Devin Lloyd. 17, Jordan Davis. 18, Tyler Lindenbaum. 19, Trevor Penning. 25, Treylon Burks. 30, Arnold Abigti. I don't know how to say that last name. 45, Leo Chanel. 48, Cam Taylor-Britt. At 53, Marcus Jones. 66, Greg Dulcich. 74, Fedarian Mathis. 97, Zach Tom. And 114, Kobe Bryant. He said, would our defense not be what it used to be? Would our offense not be insane? Would this not hold us off for 2 years of drafting? I mean, if we traded all our picks for next year, then yeah, it would hold us off. He said, this even got us depth. Again, DaCosta, I'm sure would do it better if we went all in and did this. I just wanted to see the take of this kind of method. I just want to know y'all's thoughts on this concept. And he said, in this draft, with some of the trades that he made, he traded away Chuck Clark, Tyus Bowser, and Duvernay during this mock. No forced trades either. Oof. So he got us a lot of picks and a lot of players. Wow. Yeah, this is a lot. Definitely some heavy impact guys right from the jump. Devin Lloyd, that would definitely help us at linebacker, give us a linebacker of the future and the present. Jordan Davis, interior pressure. Lindenbaum, a player, center, Penning. Traylon Burks, all around type of wide receiver. You hit on a lot of stuff here, but like you did say, it's not realistic, and you know Ravens, they ain't going all in with the draft picks like that. Next question came from my guy Noah. He said, Ingraven, hope you and the people around you are doing well. Got a short question, but one I would like to get your thoughts on. If you could pick a couple players in the later rounds, which players would you see as hidden gems in this draft class? And although this is a tricky job, even in the earlier rounds, I'm hoping the Ravens can find other hidden superstars with their many fourth round picks, such as previous Mark Andrews or Orlando Brown Jr. Keep up the great work, and let's hope the Ravens can come back with a vengeance. So hidden superstars. Ooh, see, this is where I would be a little bit worried. If the Ravens felt like they could get a sort of quote-unquote hidden superstar in the later rounds. And when I think about superstars, I think about, you think about your quarterbacks, you think about wide receivers, maybe tight ends. You think about weapons, in my opinion. Now, and of course, you got superstars on defense, too. If it's a superstar on defense, I would trust them later rounds. Okay, cool. Will it be a superstar? You never know. But as far as playmakers on offense, that would worry me. Because I would just be scared that they would be, if they got somebody in the later rounds and they started talking and superstar talk in the later rounds, I just don't feel like the investment would be there from the Ravens end. I just don't feel like it would be there. And their middle round selections haven't really been the best so far. Hopefully it starts to improve a bit. But I just, for the Ravens and superstar, I'm thinking on offense that I don't know. I don't know if I would trust him right now to go get a superstar in the later rounds. I don't, and what I mean when I say that is as far as the blossoming and the development of whatever particular player, I don't think I would trust it. Next question came from the Golded 18. He said, what would you say our record for the upcoming season will be, and how far will we make it into the playoffs? Any personal accolades for players or coaches? And finally, who's your breakout player for each side of the ball? Love the vids and keep up the great work. And shout out to you, and shout out to the mock draft that you sent me with the presentation and all that too. We appreciate it. So our record for the upcoming season, if everybody's staying healthy, 17 games? I say if everybody's staying healthy, maybe 13-4, or like 13-4, 12-5. I would say around there if everybody stays healthy. How far do we make it into the playoffs? Oh man, this is the one right here. If everybody stays healthy, and then see, everybody could be healthy, but then you need a lot more than that too in the playoffs. It would just depend so much on where this offense is, the direction of the offense. So I say at least to the divisional round, hopefully at least AFC Championship, hopefully. Obviously, hopefully winning the Super Bowl, but realistic expectations right now before the draft, before they draft whoever they're going to pick, I would say at least to the divisional round right now. And if everybody's healthy, I say at least to the divisional round. Hopefully they go further. And again, the team's still not done being constructed yet, but that's what I'm saying for right now. Any personal accolades for players or coaches? I think Hollywood will go over 1,300. Andrews, he go over 1,100. I think Bateman, he could get a stack too. and I feel like Lamar, he could throw for like 4,200, maybe 4,400, maybe even 45, just depending on how things are. If they're gonna be throwing like they were throwing last year for a little point in time, then yeah. But you know they're still gonna be running the ball a lot too. J.K. Dobbins, him getting over a stack. Gus Edwards, that'd be nice. They could both get over a stack. This is a lot of numbers I'm over here throwing out in there. He said, and finally, who's your breakout player for each side of the ball? Oh, breakout player. Defensive side of the ball, maybe a Dafe away. He started to break out last year, but he had some inconsistencies last year. So I say maybe a Dafe away. Offensive side of the ball, probably Bateman. Next question came from my guy Dominic. He said, hey man, hope everything is good with you and the family. I've been thinking this upcoming draft is maybe like the first one where we are really up in the air about this 14th pick. I agree. It's just so many ways we could go. Me personally, I think the Ravens have a couple of players on their draft board where they think are worth the 14th pick. I think the Ravens at 14th pick all just depends on how the board falls. What do you think? Of course, for sure. That's the biggest thing. It depends on how the board falls. Because they could have some guys that end up dropping that they didn't expect. They could have some guys that end up getting picked early that they didn't expect. He said, I think one of the players that doesn't get a lot of talk is Jermaine Johnson to the Ravens. I've been hearing that a lot. Maybe we've been listening to two different sets of people, but I've been hearing Jermaine Johnson to the Ravens a whole lot. He said, I know we need to get young on the interior, but we still have a couple of unknowns at the edge position in Ferguson and Hayes and how Tyus would be when he comes back. I think adding to our edge rushes with a second year away and first year Johnson will make us much better. What do you think? Oh, for certain, that'd be a nice move. But we also need interior pressure too. So yeah, they brought back Calais Campbell. They signed Michael Pierce. He still had Matt Abike going in his third year. So hopefully, that could be another candidate for breakout player. So hopefully he would be. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad if they got him, but they just they need more pressure from the interior as well. Obviously exterior as well. You need to get pressure from all over. But I think interior would just make such a big difference for everybody. So Jermaine Johnson, but I've been hearing about that a lot, and I know a lot of y'all have too. Being unique. Next question came from my guy Philmon. He said, hey, Ingraven, hope all is well. Oh, everything is great. I see that left tackle could be something we figure out, and I think one option would be someone who won't be on their team soon. Although he was injured last year, I believe this guy could be an interesting pick and even a trade piece if he doesn't work out with us. What do you think of, Mekhi Becton from the Jets? Ooh. I just read something about that at that some people don't think he'll ever play for the Jets again. Oh man, big boy, and if he's healthy, oh yeah. But I just think the Ravens. I think for them to get somebody like that, man, that'd be something right there. I don't see it happening though. Not for the Ravens. Now if they're not gonna just cut him. They're not just gonna straight up cut him. They will definitely trade him. Try to get some assets for him. How much years does he have left on his deal, man? Let me see. I would, as a player, no problem. No problem at all. But yes, I looked him up. That's the first thing. Many in the NFL believe Mekhi Becton would never put on a Jets jersey again. He came out in 2020. So 2020, 2021. So he has 2 years left on his rookie deal, and then he still has a 5th year option. Oh, okay. So that would put them in line for 2025 will be in his 5th year. Because, 2020, 2021, 2, 3. 4 would be the 5th year. Can't count. So, yeah, I would be down for it. I would be down for it. Then you'd be loaded on the offensive line, because think about it, you have Ronnie Stanley, you got Morgan Moses, and Morgan Moses probably be looking at Mekhi Becton like, you part of the reason why I wasn't a starter last year. But anyway, I would like that. I'm glad you brought that up. Cash for Cinco. Next question came from my boy Josh. He said, hey, what's up, Ingraven? How you doing? I hope you and the family are good. It's been a little minute since I sent in a question. So I was thinking, because I've seen stuff about Daniel Jones and the other people getting their 5th year option picked up. I was wondering, because I remember when EDC said he was going to pick up Hollywood's 5th year option. So my question is, do you think we'll be picking up Hollywood's 5th year option? I will pick it up because he's been progressing every year and looking better every year. I just saw a stat today saying that Hollywood's route running win rate is 48%, which is 8th best in the NFL. 91 completions, which was 12th best, and he had 1,000 yards, which he was like the most recent receiver since I think Mike Wallace. Hopefully we will, and we'll do videos. Can't wait to see what this channel has in stake for the future. I can see you being on as level as Jeff. Much thanks for everything. I don't know about all that part, but thank you, man. It's weird. Like, we've been hearing more and more about different players' options, fifth-year options getting picked up from that draft class, but still haven't heard about Hollywood's yet. And with the deadline is next week. Is it May 2nd? It's early next week. I forgot exactly when. But Ravens, they usually do the fifth year like last minute. So we just got to wait it out. We got to wait it out. Man, I'm thinking about the draft and thinking about just possibilities that I don't want to think about. So we'll just see how it goes. Question came from my guy Jonas. He said, hey, man, Ravens fan from Belgium here. Oh, what's up, man? Love watching videos and especially your balanced opinions, which you aren't too proud to chance from time to time. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it, Jonas. My question is the following. Do you think J.K. Dobbins or Marcus Peters could be a candidate for comeback player of the year? Oh, yeah. But even more so Lamar Jackson. But anyway, he said both of them are in a very different stage of their career. But I feel Peters is the kind of player who has that special fighter mentality. Oh, you know he does. You know he does, man. Dobbins, in my opinion, was going to have a great season before that injury took him out. Yeah, he was going to have an increased role, more touches, so you know he would have done his thing. Well, I don't know behind that offensive line, but he would have done. Anyway, Dobbins, in my opinion, was going to have a great year before the season-ending injury took him out. But if he can bounce back and we get some O-line help in the draft, he could have a big year as well, right? Who do you think will be back stronger? Or do you have another Ravens player that was injured who you think will have a bigger impact? Love to hear your opinion. Have a great day and God bless. Yeah, so comeback player of the year, I mean, Lamar. Why not? Next question came from my boy Michael C. He said, Ingraven, hope you and the fam are doing well. Just wanted to let you know that you are my #1 Ravens insider / channel on YouTube. And it's great to see how big you've grown. Oh, yeah, I have put on a lot of weight over time, but yeah, I appreciate it. First time, long time. Just wanted to know your opinion and how it stands on why are the Ravens always strapped for cap every year since 2001. How can all these other teams pay top dollar money for a quarterback, top money for a receiver, and a couple players on defense, and even the other line, the offensive line, and still be competitive? I've looked at it over the years and where all our money is allocated, and it just does not make sense to me how we cannot afford to pay anybody and how we are always hurting and always in this position that we have to penny pinch. Hope this wasn't too long, and let me know your thoughts. With that, it's tricky because with the Ravens, yeah, we always hear how they have such a limited amount of cap space. But the one thing about the Ravens, they don't normally pay outside free agents a lot of money, but a lot of times with their own free agents, they will pay them significant money, like a Ronnie Stanley, like a Marlon Humphrey. They paid Marcus Peters. They traded him, and then he had the year he had, and they paid him. But Gus Edwards, they gave him like a small contract. But Mark Andrews, he got paid too. So they will they'll have guys on their own roster that they drafted that they'll pay. So they don't like giving out a lot of outside money. They like giving their money to their homegrown guys. So I think that's a big part of it. And they don't like doing the whole sort of all-in approach, the cash over cap approach. That's not their style. It really never has been. Y'all know I wish they would do it a little bit more, but it's not to be expected. Next question came from my guy Makai. He said, hello, Ingraven. Wanted to ask about your thoughts on the Orlando Brown trade. A year later, I think it worked out for us. 1, because we got away, and 2, because it hindered what Kansas City could do. We did get Adafe away, and he's been good, and I think he can be a very, very good player. But I just don't think the Ravens ever addressed replacing Orlando Brown Jr. properly. That's it. Anyway, he said, if I told you a year ago that with the Chiefs trading for Orlando Brown that they would not be able to re-sign Honey Badger, and they had to trade Tyreek Hill, I think most fans will see that as a win for not just the Ravens, but the rest of the NFL. We're going to see how they do, though, man. It's going to be very interesting. I'm so excited to see the Chiefs play without Tyreek Hill, and I'm super excited, even more excited to see the Dolphins play with Tyreek Hill. I just want to see how they do that, man. I want to see how they just, I just want to see it, man. He said that one last thing. I hear people say that if we had Orlando Brown Jr., then Lamar wouldn't have gotten hurt against the Browns. I highly disagree. Lamar got hurt from the blitzing linebacker coming from the right side of the line. Brown would have had no impact on that play. Also, people say that our O-line and team would have been better if we kept him. But me personally, I would rather have 5 years of cheap Odafe away than just 1 year of Orlando Brown. Keep up the good work. Well, with Orlando Brown, had you had him, the offensive line, the quality of it would have been better. And I mean, we'll never. That's one of those things that we'll just never know. As far as the play with the Browns and stuff with Jock injuring Lamar, it was just one of those things that, if Orlando Brown Jr. was there, who knows what could have happened. But he's definitely made the offensive line a lot better, and it's very important that the Ravens, and they did sign Morgan Moses, so that was nice. So that's an upgrade over Alejandro. But they also got to look at long-term options at right tackle and then left tackle too, because Ronnie Stanley's status, you just never know. Next question came from my guy Karma. He said, "Hey there, man, a big howdy from Texas." Oh, shout out to Texas, man. Everybody from Texas be so nice, man. Everybody that I know from Texas, they be super, super, super nice, man. But anyway, he said, "Hope you and the family doing well. I don't know if I believe too much in Patrick McCary as our center, and honestly think the Ravens are better off just addressing their D-line issues in free agency, just so they know what they're getting from past performances. So with that being said, I really do believe it is in our best interest to go after someone like Tyler Lindenbaum in the draft. Just want to hear your perspective on that. Team, keep it clean, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready." Whew. All right. Oh, Lindenbaum. Well, this would be a very interesting one. If they Ravens don't usually take centers early, so that would be something. If they did get him, I don't see it at 14. Maybe if they traded back and got like 2 first-round picks, they got him late, maybe. But I don't see it at 14, because for them, like, that would be the Ravens really going against the Ravens green, because they got Bradley Bozeman, and they ain't even play him at center initially. They ain't even played him at center in his last year. But they got Bradley Bozeman in, what was he, his 5th or 6th round pick, something like that. They got Matt Skura. He was late. Patrick McCary, he was undrafted. Ryan Jensen, he was a late round pick too. I think, what was he, a 4th round pick? I don't even remember, but definitely wasn't 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. So I just don't see it happening. Is it too soon? Next question came from my guy, Gold Morano. He said, "Happy draft week. You continue to do an outstanding job of delivering Ravens updates, offering your perspective, and keeping fans interested and engaged. Please don't ever be discouraged by the words of those who show inability to keep it clean." Appreciate that, man. Unfortunately, despite the advantages that social media can provide its users, it also has become a platform for dark-minded people to become internet bullies and a megaphone for people to spew hatred and malcontent. Fortunately, they do not control the thoughts of people like you and me. That is a very, very good point, because, something that we always say, social media, it is a gift and it's a curse. But again, one of the best features, block. Question: Is it crazy to believe that EDC is already entering his 4th offseason in the GM seat and his 4th opportunity to build a better offense around Lamar? Most of us like and respect DaCosta. 1, for not leaving when other organizations attempted to steal him from us during Ozzy's reign, and for his overall love for the Ravens organization. It's true, because we would always hear every year, "Oh, this team want to interview Eric DaCosta. Oh, this team interviewed Eric DaCosta, but he turned it down. He's staying." He said, "When I started thinking about grading EDC's performance so far, it sparks concerns. When I look at what he has done, I ask the question, has he done anything to improve the team? Bateman looks like he could be a superstar in the making, but drafting him was a no-brainer. He also signed Marcus Peters, but is the team better since EDC took the helm? Dare I say no. Is it too soon, Ingraven, to start holding EDC accountable for being ineffective in his management of the roster and confusion on what to do about Greg Roman? Has the time come to place a spotlight on him if he continues to fail to complete a significant free agent signing or draft a future Hall of Famer?" Oof. As the elite teams in the AFC continue to improve with the big-time trades, free agency pickups, and great drafting, EDC has been unable to sign a top 10 receiving talent or a linebacker through free agency and has not drafted particularly well in his tenure. Am I right about this, or am I overanalyzing? I don't think you're overanalyzing, because that's part of the job. Just being critical about the job, about what has happened. It's a results-driven league, as we all know and as we've all heard before. And it's about, what have you done? What have you accomplished? And yeah, as I know, I talked about it in a previous episode of Questions from Subs, where one of my guys, he was talking about how him and his dad, I think it was my guy Harry, about how him and his dad, they Ravens fans, and they were comparing Ozzie and EDC. And EDC is super early. Like, Ozzie was doing the thing for so long. EDC just started. But it's about what you've done, what you've accomplished. So has he done this bad, terrible job? No. Could he have done a lot better? Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And I think as far as the draft, his job around the draft, I just got to get more impactful players, man. We got to get more from his draft. And he's been getting better every year, but it's still some room for improvement. And as far as the roster building, is getting a top wide receiver, oh, man, don't get me started on that one. And I feel like as far as the trades, we know Eric DeCosta is more aggressive than an Ozzie Newsome, but the trades that he's done, the biggest trades that he's done has been for fifth-round picks. Fifth-round pick for Marcus Peters, fifth-round pick for Calais Campbell. And a lot of the other trades for other top players and whatnot, they didn't go through. They didn't go through. And that's whether the Ravens didn't want to give something else up, or they because we hear a lot of almost stuff. And again, is Eric DeCosta a bad GM? No, not a bad GM. But there's definitely some room for improvement, and that's fine. He said if DeCosta has another draft on par with the past three and continues to be incapable of signing the type of significant talent that will help Lamar have the type of season that will catapult him and this team to the next level, should we start calling for our beloved GM's head? If the Ravens don't become better as a whole, could it be time to move on, or am I being too critical too soon? I don't necessarily think you're being too critical too soon, but time to move on. Nah, I don't think so yet. Nah, it's too early for that. I don't think so yet. But I'm hoping that things can improve now. You mentioned about if he continues to be incapable of signing the type of significant talent that'll help Lamar have the type of season that will catapult him. I always get reminded of Josh Allen. And Josh Allen, everybody was like, man, this guy, yeah, he got a big arm, but is he really anything special? This guy, wow, he's not really doing anything significant. Well, big arm, but what's there? Like, he's inaccurate. He a lot of overthrows, and he need to put more touch on the ball. And oh man, they got him Stephon Diggs, took Josh Allen from here to there. So that's another one of the reasons that I would love for the Ravens to really get that guy that you could add to a Hollywood, you could add to a Bateman to just help take them over the top. So, but is it too soon to be critical? No. Is it too soon to be calling for Eric DeCosta's head? No, I don't think so. Oh, no, I answered that wrong. I meant yes, I do think it is too soon to be calling for Eric DeCosta's head. Next question came from my boy Steven. He said, what's up, Ingraven? First off, I want to thank you and for all you do. No, for real, my guy. Give yourself a pat on the back. I've been following this channel since the beginning of last offseason, so I guess it's like a 1-year friend anniversary. Subscriber anniversary or something in that ballpark. I appreciate it. Happy anniversary. And he said, may your family be blessed for all time and the effort you yourself put in making others' day better. And the patience your family have for this part of your life, because I know we be on your tail if you're a minute late because we need your opinion. LOL. Yeah, boy, you ain't lying, man. Anytime something happen with the Ravens, or really with whatever, all these messages, hey, where's the video? But it's all good, man. He said I got a couple of questions, so I'm gonna try to make it quick. Ooh, this ain't really looking like it's quick. But anyway, he said, what do you think of Trent McDuffie? I love Trent McDuffie. He reminds me, I always say he reminds me of Marcus Peters, man. Remind me of a little Marcus Peters, man. So if the Ravens got him, I wouldn't be mad, not one bit. But he said, I think he's a mix of Marlon and Marcus when it comes to the footwork. Being physical and tight man-to-man reminds me so much of Marlo, and oh yeah, he don't miss. He don't mind fruit punching that thing out of there. But what's crazy, as soon as the ball touches his hands, he turns directly into Marcus Peters. That's the one. I think he's a gem in this draft, and I do like Sauce, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather the Ravens not be the team where Sauce has to adapt or enhance his game. It's just not their strength. And plus, Sauce is coming off an unbelievable college career, not giving up a single touchdown. It's going to take some adapting for Sauce, and with Stingley, I just don't want to end up in an Anthony Averett, Tavon Young, or even Elliott with banking on the talent of a player from freshman tape. I'm sorry, it's not enough to bank on. Ooh. So what are your thoughts on all three of those guys? Also, who is your favorite receiver in this draft? Whether they are day 1 or day 2 guys. Seen your influence on Bateman, and want to see if you can nail another one. Hey, that was my guy, man. Yeah, I would be down for McDuffie all day. Stingley, yeah, as long as he's healthy, that'd be straight too. And Sauce, I wonder, because Sauce not really an inside corner like that. So I wonder if they got Sauce, he's gonna play, but would they kick Marlon to the inside for him, or would he just be like sort of on the bench? Because would they put Brandon Stevens on the inside, or would they have Brandon Stevens playing on the outside and Marlon on the inside? Like, what would they do? So I wonder about that, and that's really with any corner. Because we had the same conversation about any corner that they possibly brought in. Favorite receiver though, for me, Pickens, Jameson Williams, maybe Garrett Wilson, but Pickens number 1 for me. That's my favorite one. He said number 2, with so many returning this year from injury, name 2 players off of faith and big trust who you have the most trust in to bounce back and have the best season. So he said, to me, it's Juice Man and J.K. Mine would be 2 players, Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins. Especially because J.K. has been through this injury before. Marcus Peters is another one. Like, you just know just by just the attitude he got. He ain't gonna have no bad season. Like, he gonna bounce back in a bit. As long as he stays healthy, he gonna bounce back, man. And Marlon Humphrey, I'm very confident in him bouncing back too, because he should have Marcus Peters on the other side, and he'll have more help around him. Ooh, Marlon Humphrey, they was all on him last year, boy. He had some highs, but he had a lot of lows too, boy. And man, I mean, Jamar Chase, that was the worst. That was the worst one. But Marlon Humphrey just got straight up dogged. So with him getting his boys back, and then the Ravens, of course, adding some more people in there, that should help him out a whole lot. He says some have forgotten about the ball hawk Marcus Peters, but some of us also know Marcus Peters is extremely smart and full of football IQ. And JK, I'm only going off his rookie year when the Ravens planned on having a rotating back by committee type system. By the end of the year, everyone knew who our lead back was. That's big to me. Shows work ethic, dedication, and determination to not only get on the field, but stay on the field. 2 backs, well, 3 if you count Justice Hill. He really emerged as a top back on a team that had 3 experienced backs returning on the team. And he said, pray you and the fam stay safe. So yeah, I could definitely see J.K. Dobbins being a bounce back guy. Ravens, like, since they had so many people injured, they got so many people that could bounce back. And we really hope all of them do. Next question came from my boy YPC. He said, hey, Ingraven, I just wanted to let you know how I can see the Ravens address the draft with their first pick. So here it goes. I can see the Ravens drafting Jordan Davis because the Ravens have 5 guys, shout out to the Burgers, on a defensive line coming off an injury like at 08 with the shoulder injury, Dalen Hayes, Derek Wolfe, who's in his 30s coming off a back injury, Michael Pierce, Tyus Bowser with Achilles. And with Jordan Davis, his ability to make everybody's job easier can help those guys during the season where they don't have to do much and risk another injury. I don't see Ravens going into the draft with the best player available mentality. What I mean by that is drafting a safety or center inside linebacker or a wide receiver in the first round, because the past 3 years, Ravens drafted positions that they needed to address that were top concerns like Hollywood, Patrick Queen, and Bateman, and also Odafe Away. I can see if the Ravens acquire another defensive tackle or pass rusher in this year's draft. Anyway, wanted to know your thoughts on this. So, with their first pick, yeah, I think they definitely go in defense, and it just depends on how it falls, whether it's interior defensive lineman, an edge guy, or a cornerback. Next question came from my guy, Rave Kingdom. He said, hey, Ingraven, shout out to you and the fam. Hope all is well. I feel like James, Prochet, Duvernay, Wallace, Brown, and Bateman are a young core we're developing and focusing on. I don't think we need to add another young wide receiver to focus on. To fix everyone's mouth-watering urge to get a wide receiver, how about this? Let's sign Julio and bring in Dez Bryant. They almost remind me of when we added Anquan Bolden and Jacoby Jones to bring veteranship and experience around the young core we had. Then let's use the draft to sign Jordan Davis and address defensive depth. Last time we did this, we won a Super Bowl. Your thoughts? I mean, we just brought in Dez Bryant in 2020. We ain't even sniff a Super Bowl. Dez Bryant would be a no. Julio, I wouldn't mind if they brought in Julio, but as long as they signed they drafted a young wide receiver too early. They're going to bring in Julio, all right, cool, whatever. I ain't got no problem with it, but you got to draft another wide receiver early in a big dog wide receiver, man. Not just, the third, fourth, fifth round. No. First or second round, you got to get one then if you're going to bring in Julio. Potential moves that would make us better. Next question came from Terry. He said, what's up, Ingraven? Hope you and the fam are good and staying safe and living life. Wanted to ask you, if it's okay if I could get your opinion for things I would like the Ravens to do to officially make us a Super Bowl contending team. And if you would like to change some stuff up with what I said, please do. First, we trade Lamar Jackson and draft Malik Willis. He said, okay, let me stop. And sorry, this is long. He was just trolling. But he said, but first, we re-signed Justin Houston. Give us a great experience and more depth at the edge position. I'd rather Jadeveon Clowney. First change right there. But let me let you keep going. He said, second, we get an already established wide receiver in the league that can be healthy and is a big body wide receiver. To me, it don't matter if we get a wide receiver 1 or go big body in the draft. We need to address the wide receiver room. Hollywood is our oldest wide receiver, and Rashad Bateman is our tallest wide receiver, and our room is full of small body receivers if we add another great playmaker and is a huge option on third downs and is a 50-50 catcher. And that makes Hollywood and Bateman and Mark Andrews' jobs better. Even Lamar, we legit. Love it. I love it. I would change nothing about that. Love that one. As far as the draft, I wouldn't mind if we stayed at 14 and drafted Jordan Davis for interior pressure, but I would like to see us trade up for rounds 1 or 2. And I say a team we should target and trade are the Packers. And with that first or second round pick, we get Jalen Petrie from Baylor, a guy who can play outside and inside and is a physical tackler and great enforcing turnovers. And then we get our guy Pickens. In the later rounds, we address tackle, center, and linebacker. This draft is filled with talent in rounds 1 through 5, and the Ravens have a great history of developing centers in later rounds like Ryan Jensen and Bradley Bozeman. Hey, we were just talking about that a little bit ago. He said, also, we can go Jalen Ramsey knowledge and say that the team keep it clean version, which is forget them picks. That's Les Snead. He said, I would like to get your opinion, and if there's anything that you would do in this scenario, then what are the moves other than that? Stay safe and trust. This was fun, man. I like it because you ain't playing, man. You like that. The wide receiver part was my favorite. Yeah, like I said, the only thing I would change, Jadeveon Clowney. He's still sitting there. He posted up. I know there's been all that talk about him possibly going back to the Browns. Yeah, cool. Come to the Ravens, man. Next question came from my guy Bullet Atrex. He said, what's good, Ingraven? Love the videos. I think the answer we've been looking for in this draft, George Pickens is a perfect player for the Ravens. Done. We should end the video right here. We got one more question of us. Let's keep going. He said, he is the big body outside wide receiver Lamar can throw the jump ball to. My favorite part isn't his play, it's his attitude. Yes, I agree. His on-field attitude is aggressive, which I think the offense needs a little more. In college, he was picking fights with dudes and got up in people's faces after a big play. The only problem is he's going very early in the second, which we don't have a pick there. If I were the Ravens, I would trade either pick 14 for possibly 2 later first rounders and use one on Pickens or package pick 45 with another round pick to take Pickens. We need this dude. What are your thoughts? He's been my favorite guy. So I'm right there with you. I got no argument, no rebuttal. I'm with you on this all day. Next question came from my guy Phil. He said, I've heard and read some reports saying that Vegas is willing to trade Darren Waller, who wants a new contract, even though he still has 2 years left on his current contract. We need another catching tight end to take some of the workload off Andrews. What are your thoughts? Oh, man. I did see something today that said that they are absolutely not trading him at all. I did see that thing about him possibly going to the Packers, and I was like, whoa. But then I saw something today that said that he ain't going nowhere. So we'll see. Because things could change like that. Now, I would love it. I would love it. But how much is he getting paid? I don't know. Forget the money, though. Mark Andrews and Darren Waller, if they were to get those two, you're not going to hear me talking about a receiver anymore. Because that's like having another tall, big body frame, 50-50 receiver right there. That's it. And they both got good speed. They can both run. Oh, my goodness. I would love it. I would love if they got Darren Waller. We know it's not going to happen. But I would love it so much. I would love it for the Ravens. I would love it for Darren Waller. It's sort of a redemption story. Like, I'm back. And better than ever. And I would love it for Lamar. I would love it for the Ravens. I would love it for Greg Roman. I would just love it. But it's not going to happen. And the last question on this, I know this was a lengthy episode of questions from subs. It came from my guy Chase. He said, yet another mock draft. And this is going to be the last mock draft that we do on here. And that's it. Probably the next time I see y'all after this video, unless something ends up happening before the draft. And you know what the NFL, usually it does. But next time I plan on seeing y'all after this video will be for the live stream during the first round. So But, again, NFL probably is crazy, so something gonna go down. He said, Ingraven, hope you and the family and Pookie included, of course, and all the team Keep It Clean are doing well. I've been playing with mock drafts a lot lately, and I have been a very firm believer that the Ravens don't need to draft a receiver early. In fact, most of my drafts have no receiver until round 4 at the earliest. Well, you might as well keep him then. So I think the Ravens have some playmakers on the roster that they just need to utilize. Okay, that's fair. I have been prioritizing defense, shoring up D-line, corner, and edge, usually picking up a wide receiver with either pick 100 or 119. However, making some trades in my most recent draft, I think I found a way to make us both happy, as you have been emphasizing quality over quantity. The trades I made give us 1 first, 3 seconds, 2 thirds, and 4 fourths. I love it. Still 10 picks, but none lower than the first round. You mean none lower than the 4th round. So without further ado, here's my draft along with a description of each player provided by PFF. All right. A trade with the Saints. Give them pick 14 for pick 19, 49, 98, and a second round for next year. Okay. So you give them pick 14 for a lot. And you're only moving down 5 spots. He said 19. You draft Travis Jones, defensive lineman. Trade with the Jets to receive 35 and 38 in exchange for 49, 76, 141, and 196 in the second rounder from New Orleans. And then at 35, you draft David Ojabo, edge guy. And hopefully, we'll see how his recovery goes. I feel like we should still take a risk. When he's healthy, I think he'll be a steal. At pick 38, George Pickens. All right, draft done. But anyway, pick 45, Jalen Petrie. 98, I'm sure I'm saying his last name wrong. But anyway, pick 98, D'Angelo Malone, edge guy. Pick 100, Damari Mathis, cornerback. Pick 110, Matthew Butler, defensive line. Pick 110, Kellen Dyche, tackle. Pick 128, Rashad White, a running back. Pick 139, Matt Waletzko, a tackle. Just want to get your opinion on my draft if you have the time and interest. Of course. You had me at 38. At 38, I'm good to go, man. I pack it up. I'm done. You got George Pickens. I'm straight now, man. And he said Jones was the bright spot on Connecticut's roster this season at 6'5", 333 pounds. He's a monstrous space-eating nose tackle, but he can be a little bit more than that. He racked up 25 pressures and 21 run stops on the season and played well at the Senior Bowl. Ojabo has only played 26 career snaps before 2021. He played only 26 career snaps before 2021, but he made his presence felt in a big way this season. Earning an 86.9 pass rushing grade on 300 pass rushing snaps, given his physical tools. The Michigan product is still only scratching the surface of his potential. Sounds like a Jabo. Pickens tore his ACL last spring and only came back for Georgia in the last game of the regular season. He was a potential wide receiver 1 after a massive freshman year, but never built upon it. Petrie was a massive reason for the Bears' defensive success in 2021. He led all defensive backs with 47 stops on the season while playing slot corner in Dave Aranda's defense. Malone is a one-trick sub-package rusher who can bring some juice to any NFL team's pass rush. He racked up 180 pressures in his career at Western Kentucky. Mathis is an explosive and physical cornerback. He may even be too physical after tallying 17 penalties across the past 2 seasons. So he fit right in with the Ravens then. Butler is an ascending 3 technique who can disrupt both the passing and running games. His 76.7 overall grade this past season was a career high by a good margin. Dyche was one of the highest graded Power 5 tackles in the country this past season and didn't lose much in pass protection as he allowed multiple pressures only once in 2021 and gave up all of 7 in total. White has some of the best natural talent with the ball in his hands in this draft class. It's why he scored 20 times and broke 52 tackles on 225 collegiate carries. He just needs to rein in his freelancing style. And Waletzko's developmental traits are as good as you'll see in this tackle class with a 7'1" wingspan. So ain't nobody getting past it. All you got to do is go like this. Ain't nobody getting past him. With a 7-foot wingspan and nimble feet, he's the project NFL teams want. Woo! So thank you for this. Thank you for this mock draft to close out this episode of Question from Subscribers, which is the very last one before the draft. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you to everybody that sent in questions. Thank you to everybody that has been a part of Question from Subscribers just leading up to the draft. And, of course, everybody's going to be a part of it afterwards, too. Please, after the draft, be patient because obviously Ravens are going to be drafting a lot of guys, so we're going to have a lot to talk about. So please be patient with the questions, as you all already are. Y'all already super patient. I don't really see nobody complaining, where's my question? Why hasn't been answered yet? I don't really see nobody on that. So I appreciate y'all for being like that. So yeah, man, that's that. I am tired. It has been a very, very busy week. It's been a very crazy week. It's been like nonstop. But to actually take this moment to like really pause and just take a break and just be done, it's a beautiful thing for me. But I appreciate all you guys' support. I appreciate all you guys' questions. Thank you. Go tell a friend, family member about the channel. So tell somebody at the barbershop. Tell somebody that you work with. Whether they're a Ravens fan or not, tell them come through because you already know they're more than welcome. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We out, and I will see you for the live stream during the draft. Even though, like I said before, you know, with the NFL, crazy stuff always happens even before the draft. So I'll probably end up seeing y'all before the draft because the NFL don't ever stop. But we out.